I'm concerned that more people will end up like me if society doesn't start accepting them. I wouldn't want another person to feel like that. My name is Jonathan Bentoncourt. I am 16 and I live in Marupna. And my favourite subjects are music and home eco and pretty much anything creative. I have a very strong passion for things like history and English and science as well, but anything like music tops those any day. I want to be a musician in a big fancy orchestra. I love to just listen to orchestras or composers. I like to create my own music on a website, or I just like to be practicing and playing and getting to know the pieces I play better. I do like to get involved with things like the Diversity program and like try and become very involved in the community. I also like to go to things like festivals and such. Then I have a job which I do to keep, get money, pay for my music. In my workplace, I don't exactly get accepted, and I put up with the way people talk to me, but it does affect how I feel. I don't deal with it at all. Might post a status on Facebook. That's about it. I don't really put myself in a position where I'm going to get involved with anything legal or with anything like that, which I know definitely they could get in trouble with, but I don't see the point if I'm not going to be there for very long. If it's a really bad shift, then yeah, I probably will just play my clarinet or my flute, because depending on the situation, the different tones and the different ways you can play them are unique. So it's like, if I'm feeling down, playing something like the low notes on my clarinet makes you kind of feel warm and fuzzy. So it's like, oh, okay. And if I'm on a day where I feel like I need to be expressive or joyful or such, I would get out the flute and start playing some pretty little tune, and you could definitely tell how I feel by the way I play. That's definite. I really don't fit in with other people, so I just like to stay to myself. I can socialise, I can get along with people, but I don't just go along with what you say. I do say what I think. Yeah, I've never had friends, and I am a lonely person and I don't like that, but I don't have any other choice. Or I can be stood all over and pretended to be liked, and that's just not an option for me. Because I'm not so accepted and people don't like me, I usually get bullied in the schoolyard, and to the point I don't actually go in the schoolyard anymore. I sit in an office during recess and lunch with the welfare officers because, well, I like them and they're nice. They treat me as if I'm a human being. A lot of the times I get a lot of mockery and a lot of teasing because I am gay. I walk home and like they'll make fun of me as I'm walking, or they'll throw rocks at me while I'm walking, things like that, and I'll just look away, keep going, and hopefully they'll stop. I don't like to initiate fights, so I don't say anything. I kind of let it be. Why would I say anything to anyone who's lower than me? If you do get bullying, I would suggest just getting a higher authority or trying to keep them separate. Moving them along. Don't stop. If there's someone's following you, don't stop. Keep moving. Don't aggravate them. Don't give them a reason. Just leave it be. At the moment, I'm very happy. I have a partner, and he's lovely, and I see him now and then. It's an hour and a bit drive, and it's not like we can see him all the time. But yeah, it's really good. One of the hardest things I've done was probably introduce my boyfriend to my parents. I've never had a friend over before in my life. I don't bring people home, and my parents have never met anyone in my life, let alone a boyfriend. They were very interested and accepted him, and it was very, very difficult for me because I wasn't sure how it would turn out and how it would react, and especially with my siblings, hard to explain what he is, and yeah, it's just very It was a very difficult thing, but I did it. And he actually came around when he first came around on New Year's. He was also introduced to the rest of my family, such as grandmas, grandpas, cousins, uncles, aunties. Very interesting and reactions from all of them. They were all very friendly, of course, though. I like to think I'm a very compassionate person, loving person. I get a lot of people who talk to me over things like Facebook, people who aren't necessarily out to the world. I give them advice, I help them on how things work, and I always try and get them involved with diversity. It's not like I'm going to go out and go tell everybody. I'm the friend they talk to over Facebook, and they get over things over Facebook. I'm that one person that no one knows they talk to. If I could change something in the world, it would most definitely be society. I hate the way people are treated everywhere, whether they be black, white, rich, poor, gay, straight. There's no real reason to be exclusive of anyone. Think about it.
Jono bringing Adam home, and it was kind of a fluke really, because he wanted to meet him in town, and we said, well, it's New Year's and we're doing things, why don't you ask him to come, and he can come to Grandma's as well. And I was a little bit nervous because I thought we've always, same rule for Jono, same rule for Sadie. So when she's 16, are we going to want boys coming and staying over, or girls, or whatever the case may be? He never brings friends home. So for him to want to bring someone home and then take him out to meet the whole family, we're sitting there and Mum said, isn't it nice to see Jono so happy? And to have someone, wasn't it? To have someone that he can relate to, and to see him connected.
That actually understands him.
And wants to be with him, and it was like a weight lifted off my shoulders to know that, he's connected. And whether or not Adam and Jono stay in a relationship forever is irrelevant to the fact that I know he's going to be okay, and that he can make those connections, and Adam's family's beautiful and he's beautiful, and it was really, really special and heartwarming, because he's never really been good with making friends, and the diversity group was so important to him because it gave him those familiarities, it gave him connections that he hadn't been able to find before, that we couldn't find for him. And so when he said, yeah, Mum, can Adam stay? I was, yeah, he can stay. As long as you want him to stay, he can stay. It was just beautiful.
When we found out, it was a bit of a shock, like to any parent, it would be. But it wasn't a big shock because we could see it from when he was a young age.
But verbalising
when he actually when he verbalises it and tells you that, I am gay, it actually feels like a bit of a shock. But if you love your kids enough, you'll accept their sexuality, and you accept them the way they are, and regardless on what they are, and that's what we did, and his brother and sister done the same, and they accepted him because we accepted him, and we talk open about it. We don't hide it from anyone.
And it's not about saying, hey, did you know my son's gay? We don't hide who he is. He's proud enough of himself to tell us, let the community know. So how amazingly great is that he's so comfortable in his own skin to do that. Don't get me wrong, I remember saying silly things like, are you sure? We make mistakes, we're not perfect. Elements of a struggle trying to find our own little connection with what was happening. And, we didn't always handle it well.
Terry found this diversity group and thought, well, this is probably what Jonathan is going to need. If the son or daughter can't find where they feel comfortable, I'll probably suggest that it's the parents' job to actually find that for them.
My biggest fear of the last 18 months has been that something is going to happen to Jono. He's either that he would be hurt or by someone else, or that he was going to hurt himself. He had lost total connection with us and with everything he was doing. He just didn't feel or look like he belonged anywhere. I can't even express how anxious and scared that made me feel. Honestly, I don't know where he would be without having any connection. I'd be very afraid of where we would be. I don't think we'd be the family we are now.
That's why they should always just keep an eye on your kids. You know, if you see them doing things that they don't normally do, for instance, in Jonathan's case, he would just come back from school, go to bed, and stay in bed.
Wouldn't play his music.
Wouldn't play.
Just completely disconnected.
That was the biggest sign that he wouldn't play his music, because he loves his music, and for him not to play his music, we knew there was something wrong. We knew there was something majorly wrong. What we'd done is we went and looked for help.
We reached out, and when he was willing to reach out back to us and make those connections, you know, we didn't close those doors.
So everyone knows their own kids. Everyone would see what the signs are and
don't ignore them.
Don't ignore them.
You know, being a teenager is so hard. There's this beautiful, unique boy that was in front of me, and he had his own challenges coming through primary school, and he's always just been a little bit wonderfully eccentric. And to have this time in his life and him feel so different, it's so hard. So the one thing that I am so grateful for is that we were able to embrace him, embrace the community, find people who could support him because we didn't know how to, and open your arms. And the community, the parent, everyone, mums, dads, aunties, uncles, friends, teachers, recognise how difficult these times are in these young children's lives and make it easier for them, not harder. It's hard enough as it is.